With a motion.
Second.
Mr. Chadwick with a second. Any other discussions? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
And we will move that addendum to right after item number 14 under new business. Item number 6, approval of minutes from the August 12th, 2021 regular board meeting.
Entertain a motion to approve minutes as written.
Have a motion by Mr. Ledbetter
Second.
and a second by Mr. Chadwick. Any other discussion? Roll call.
I like your socks. I just caught my attention. Not to change the subject, but
Well, I appreciate that.
I was sitting there, whoa.
Is that those train socks
Train?
from the train company?
No.
They gave me a pair that looked just like that.
No. Sorry.
You never know what happens in them. See what you're going to miss, Jeannie.
I'll have to zoom in on
Please,
the.
please do.
Any other discussion?
Please.
Now that we're through with your socks, let's
Roll call vote.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Definitely.
All right. Up next, do I hear we pay the bills?
So moved.
Have a motion by Mr. Ledbetter.
second.
A second by Mr. Chadwick. Any other discussion?
McLean, second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Second by Mr. Mitch. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Aye.
All right, on to new business. Item number 10, approval to award tenure to the following teachers. Dr. Barker, I'll let you take over.
Yes, I will do that. Board, it is my pleasure to recommend the group of teachers that are listed here for tenure. We have been a little bit later this year in making this distinguished honor for these teachers due to the fact that we have had such a lag time in some of the processes and procedures from the state. So teachers, I want to say thank you for your patience, but we have been diligently trying to make sure that we had an opportunity to recognize you. And so we have moved our board meeting specially today to 4 o'clock so that you all could be out of your classrooms and could be here personally, because we do honor you for this time. So board, they have all met the requirements as far as being effective, documented, effective teachers through observations, through the scores that they have accomplished with students. That means that students are being successful in their classrooms. And we all know that that's what is most important. When students are successful, then teachers are successful. And when teachers are successful, our principals are successful. And when that happens, we're all happy. And so we're all in this together. That's the message. And I just want to thank you for the work that you do every day. So we'd like to begin by recognizing from the middle school 2 phenomenal teachers. First of all will be Mrs. Hillary Hudson. Hillary, would you stand? Let's give Hillary a round of applause. And next, Miss Sarah Jackson. Hillary is an English language arts teacher, and she has been one of the pioneers in the curriculum, expeditionary learning that we use, and she has done some incredible work. And I see Miss Hoagland shaking her head, and Miss Williams, because they both know the work that Hillary has put in personally to the intellectual planning and preparation that it takes to make sure that students are successful. So we're real pleased with that. So thank you, Hillary. Next is Sarah Jackson, who is also at the middle school. Sarah is a phenomenal math teacher. So she is in the math area, and her students are engaged. She goes beyond what is expected in not just what she does with her kids, but she writes grants too. And she writes grants and she gets them funded so that those students in her classroom can have the latest and greatest opportunities and some fun activities too. She's done some pretty phenomenal things. If you remember, board, a couple of years ago, we did some breakout boxes with the board as an activity, and that basically came from Sarah's class and some of the activities that she has pioneered in our district. And so we are just very pleased that Sarah is getting this opportunity to be recognized tonight. So, thank you. The next group of teachers all come from the high school, and there's quite a number of those. So we'll take just a moment and recognize them. First is Miss Madeline Cassidy. Miss Cassidy, would you stand? Miss Cassidy is one of our science teachers, and she does a great job. Would any of you
She
think
does
this?
NHS too, and she is on top of things. I mean, she will tell me if, like I said, I've only worked with these teachers a short time, but Miss Cassidy is on top of it with kids that are failing classes, with kids if they are needed for credit recovery, if they need help in her class, she goes above and beyond. She's there in the morning, she's there in the afternoons. So she really cares for our kids and has high expectations, and that's what we're looking for. So I appreciate that.
And in my interactions with Miss Cassidy as well, I see her heart. She is a professional, and she wants to make sure that she puts forth her best every day.
And today they were running upstairs. So in her class.
They were doing what?
Running upstairs, and
Okay.
they all had their data sheets out, and so, yeah, there's some fun stuff that goes on in there.
That's student engagement, isn't it?
Yeah, all of them were.
Mr. Orr, did you want to share anything?
Get over what you all said. Turned out to be an exceptional hire. I don't know if y'all know it, but physics teachers are pretty hard to come by. And sometimes you get what you get, but
I noticed you made that plug that you hired.
Yeah.
And that's all of them.
Just in case anyone wasn't sure.
In fact, all of them.
I was going to say, that's going to be a common theme.
That's right.
Congratulations.
Next, we'd like to recognize Jordan Cross. However, he's not here. But let me just say, that was another great hire,
Thank you.
Mr. Orr. Jordan is a phenomenal person. Performance, his relationship with students, and we all know our choral program has benefited greatly. You can't get a seat in those classes, and he manages well over 200 students in all kinds of ways and does a phenomenal job. So he was unable to be here with us today due to other commitments, but we do want to honor him as well. The next person will be Miss Stephanie Guth. Miss Guth is one of our math teachers that has demonstrated her excellence in the classroom, as well as working with our basketball team in the evenings as well for the past several years. So she's one of our teachers that is there all the time. You know, we see her. So, principals and Mr. Orr, would you like to share some things that I don't know about Miss Good?
I just have to say, she's a level 5 teacher. If you guys know what that means, that's huge. That's, you know, from TVAS, and the kids love her. They love being in her room. I haven't figured out why, but they do. No, she's a good one. She really is. Do you have anything, Chip?
Yeah. Who'd you intern with?
Miss Woodell.
Woodell.
No.
Okay. So, yeah, so she interned with us, and it's funny, I remember when I offered her the job, I just walked in her room, she had a room full of kids, and I just went up to her and said, hey, do you want a job? And she, right in front of the class. So anyway, nobody has better relationships with kids.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So they all love her, and it's for good reason, so congratulations.
We're so proud of you. The next one is Ms. Hanley, Ms. Caitlin Hanley. I think we all know Ms. Hanley and the phenomenal work she has done in bringing ham and goodies cookies to our district this year.
And we almost did it.
Oh, we almost did it. We lost by $386.52.
So Ms. Hanley, for the last couple of years, has run our Battle of the Bridge initiative. And so we are tremendously pleased with the work that she has done there to create excitement and everybody benefits. The community benefits, schools benefit, and so we
She's
just
always
love
willing to
that.
help, jump in, what can I do? If she asked me once, she asked me a million times, what can I do for you? What can I do for you? So she's just always willing to help. She does National Junior Honor Society. I don't know what all, just keep going.
Student council.
No, not NHS, that's Miss Cassidy, sorry, your student council, my fault.
That's okay.
Yeah, she's just always willing. She was gonna give up Battle of the Bridge, and I was like, oh, Miss Hanley, and she
I told
graciously
Chip,
took it again, because it's a lot of work, so, yeah.
So we thank you, Ms. Hanley, for all your hard work, and she is also a science teacher. And so we're very, very proud of the work that she does with our kids and with all the additional responsibilities as well. Then we also have Ms. Vudak, Shannon Vudak. Ms. Vudak is an English language arts teacher, and she works mainly with 10th grade. Am I correct? And 11, 12. Okay, she's certified for all of them. So we have the opportunity to give her that opportunity when the time comes. But she indeed is part of the ELA department, and they this year and beginning of last year started the transition to extend the learning that has come from the middle school through our curricular, high quality curricular materials. And we're very excited to see the gains that our students are going to be making based on the work that they're doing as well. So thank you. And then next is Miss Sarah Tolbert. Ms. Tolbert is also a math teacher, and she has been very instrumental in working with some of our students. And last year, I think she even had an opportunity to work with some of our students through high dosage, low ratio tutoring. And that is an initiative that we are getting ready to implement full force in the district. So thank you, Ms. Tolbert. Thank you. And then last but not least is Mrs. Rebecca Summers. Rebecca has transitioned now from outside of the classroom to overseeing a whole department. She oversees our English language learner department and our teachers there, and she is doing a wonderful job. As you know, we have the opportunity to serve students that need that extra push in learning the English language in order to be successful in their literacy endeavors. And of course, that means ELA, math, as well as science and social studies. So knowing the language is very important, and the work that she does with her teachers is critical to success for many of our students. And so thank you, Rebecca, for what you do. So board, these are the candidates that have met all the requirements for tenure, and so I recommend that they be awarded tenure today by the school board.
Make a motion that we grant tenure as recommended.
I have a motion from Mr. McNish,
Second.
a second from Mr. Chadwick. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Aye.
Congratulations. And at the end of our meeting, we do have cake out here to celebrate your accomplishment.
Thank you all for everything you've done so far, and here's to all you'll do in the future for the kids. Thank you. Item number 11, approval to reject the bid for LCIMS paving project and to award the bid to Patty Construction for the completion of the paving project.
So that follows up on our discussion at our last workshop where the bids came in too high to do both projects, and so combining that to accomplish the high school first, and then whatever dollars we have over, look at a patching, a partial project at the middle school. Mr. Sims, do you need any to update them on anything there?
They're gonna give us a number on how much square footage they can do with what we have left over at the budget at the middle school.
I'll entertain a motion.
I have a motion from Mr. Chadwick.
Second.
I have a second from Mr. Ledbetter. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman,
Aye.
Rick Chadwick,
Aye.
Lynn McNish,
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Item number 12, appoint a board member to the 2022-2023 school calendar committee.
Make a motion, we appoint Mitch Ledbetter.
I'll second that.
He's done such a great job.
That is hard work.
I got a motion and a second. Before there's any discussion.
That is hard work anymore.
Yeah.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion?
No.
Roll call. Before we
Matthew Coleman,
Aye.
Rick Chadwick,
Aye.
Lynn McNish.
Aye.
You have anything to say?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't-
You won't listen to me.
Item number 13, approval to adopt LCBOE policy 4.212 virtual education program. This is what we covered in our last workshop. Dr. Barker, anything you'd like to add?
It has not changed, so it's exactly what you saw in the last reading.
I'll entertain a motion.
I have a motion from Mr. Chadwick.
Second.
I have a second with Mr. McNish. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman,
Aye.
Rick Chadwick,
Aye.
Lynn McNish,
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
All right, item number 4, and we can approve all these together, correct?
Yes.
Item number 14, approval of revisions of the following LCBOE policies. Policy 4.206, special programs, 4.605, graduation requirements, 5.2, separation practices for non-tenured teachers, 5.201, separation practices for tenured teachers, 6.304, Title IX and sexual harassment. Again, these are policies that we reviewed in our last workshop, and my understanding this just brings us in alignment with TSBA.
Make a motion, we approve the revisions.
Have a motion by Mr. McNish.
Second.
Have a second by Mr. Ledbetter. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman,
Aye.
Rick Chadwick,
Aye.
Lynn McNish,
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
All right, on to our addendum agenda, approval of LCHS additions and renovations change order request.
Yes, Board, we do have this change order that was submitted based on the addition to the high school cafeteria. Part of the project called for moving some of the refrigeration equipment. And in the process of looking at that, our contractors have indicated that they're 23 years old, and it's time to go ahead and just replace them rather than move them. And Mr. Sims can answer any questions you may have on that, but it comes at a cost, of course. And so you can see there, I believe it's $14,088.92 is what the change order is. So you can see there what it's for. If you have any questions, Mr. Sims can answer those.
Kind of warranty comes from them, huh? They warranty for so long, so, I mean, it's,
Well, they gotta move those two condensing units that run the freezer and cooler, they gotta move them up on the roof. And they gotta move electrical lines and everything. And they're scared that when they hook them back up, they will not run, because they're over 23 years old.
So you're saying we got our money out of
They're
it?
sitting down, they're down on the ground.
Got wore out.
There is a contingency fund of $10,000 in the contract, and so I have reached out to see if we could use any of that for this. I don't have an
Ryan
answer
did
on that
mention
yet.
that.
I'm sorry,
Ryan mentioned that yesterday.
did he?
So would this come out of capital projects?
We probably would want to take it out of the GP fund balance because this project as a whole is in GP. So,
That was
But
approved before
yeah,
the rest of it.
yeah. So it would just make sense to take it out of the same fund. So,
Capital funds.
no, in the regular general purpose fund, we had this project originally was in ESSER, and we decided to move it out of ESSER because of the requirements of the Davis-Bacon Act. So, so we put it in GP. It will be in GP, and so it's just probably easier to keep everything in one spot. And I think that'll be fine.
I'll entertain a motion that we buy the new units.
I have a motion, Mr. Chadwick.
I'll second that.
I have a second from Mr. McNish. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
All right, on to the last bullet point, Superintendent's Comments.
Board, I would like to introduce to you one of our newest members of our team here at Central Office. This is Mrs. Lucretia Day. Lucretia, would you stand? Lucretia joins us. She is coming from the University of Tennessee, and she will be taking over the receptionist job at downstairs, as well as administrative assistant for iLearn and for Mr. Orr, to help us accomplish all the things that we have got to accomplish around here. And so I just wanted a chance for you to meet her. No, she will be the one who answers the phone most of the time when you make a phone call. And we're just pleased to have her on board. She started on Monday. So, thank you, Lucretia.
Well,
Also, I want to say congratulations to our culinary arts program. They participated in the TVA&I Fair food competition. The theme this year was the Olympics, and they took 2 blue ribbon first places in the work that they did. They did a phenomenal job, so we're very pleased with that and the work that they're doing. And I want to let you know that we are seeing lower absenteeism because of different illnesses, and so we're very excited to feel like we have some traction now to get started with the school year and make every day count in every classroom for every student. So that's our focus right now, is making good things happen in the classroom for teachers and students. That's all.
gentlemen, anything else?
Make a motion we adjourn.
I want to say thank you to Ms. Mountain. I know this will probably be her last meeting. And I've had the very fortune to work with her for 26 years. I went through 3 superintendents in 1 year. And you don't know what that means, your stability, your candor, your, I don't know, smart, you're a plus, and we couldn't have done it without you.
Thank
So I'm
you.
gonna miss you.
I appreciate that.
And I'll say,
You made me cry.
She's
So.
a big
And we will be celebrating her
that's what I was
September
gonna say.
September the 29th.
I've been keeping it a
3:30 to
secret.
5.
Somebody told me to keep it a
I
secret.
thought it was
She knows.
She knows about everything.
Yeah.
So.
She knows now. So,
But you will be missed greatly.
I think I have a motion
Yeah.
from Mr. McNish.
Second.
I have a second, Mr. Ledbetter. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Meeting adjourned.
Yeah, we got to work.
And now we'll roll right into the workshop.
About 5 o'clock, you know that.
So let's go ahead. Does anybody, I guess you can wait and see if anybody's leaving. Everything settle down.
Tell them to keep that cake out there so we won't eat it.
Yeah, we're ready to get out of here anyway. So they're ready to get out of here anyway.
Me too.
I know, me too.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. At 5 o'clock on the air.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Tell Brandon that.
Braves are on TV. I said it's 5 o'clock here.
That's
It's
right.
not 5 o'clock somewhere, I mean, it's on here.
That's right.
Let her rip, Matthew. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right, call to order and welcome everyone to the Lenoir City Board of Education workshop for September 2021. Roll call.
Matthew Coleman, Rick Chadwick, Glenn McNish,
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
I am here.
All right, item number 4, discussion of COVID sick leave for employees.
Yes, board, as you know, we use the federal leave that, sunsets on September the 30th. So what I'm asking now, because we've had that all year, what I'm asking now is due to the variant that we have been experiencing, that we extend the, this leave with some provisions. No, the federal leave is no longer going to be active after September 30th. So in order for us to do anything, we would have to take a board motion now on this. And so there are some budgetary impacts to some of this as well. So what I am asking is that we consider extending the remaining balances of the current COVID-19 sick leave allocation, which was 10 days. So if anybody has a balance of those, extending that for employees who can provide documentation that they personally are COVID positive with a diagnosis. So we would modify the current policy, which expires September the 30th, by extending the date to the end of the school year, May 20th, 2022. And in doing so, it would apply only to COVID positive employees. So I'm asking for you to consider that, and we can discuss it and see if there's anything different that you might be interested in adding or modifying to this particular policy. But that's what I have put before you to consider.
I saw the county just did something similar. Is this the same type of thing they did? Or
It's very similar.
Do we move this to a board meeting or do we vote on it in the workshop?
We need to move it to a board meeting. And with that, I was going to also bring up our next board meeting is during fall break, and I would ask that we move the meeting from the 14th to October the 7th, and then put this to be approved on the 7th, and then make it retroactive back to the 30th after the federal is.
October 7th, you said.
So, yeah, I would ask if we could move our board meeting to October the 7th.
Dr. Barker, I'll add something.
Sure.
By doing that, does that leave us a week-long gap, where if someone were to need those days between October 1st and October 7th, they wouldn't have them available?
We can go back and retroactively,
Yeah, we can just continue to have them fill the form out, and then, that's what we've been doing anyway. We've been going back, they've been putting in their sick leave, and then we go back afterwards and change them over to the COVID sick leave.
but yes, it would have to be on a board meeting for an approved vote. And Ms. Mowry, correct me if I'm incorrect, but we have been filing for the federal tax relief.
Well, it's been a mixed bag. So we've been told we can, we've been told we can't. The last word we got is that we can't. So I'm not sure on September 30th whether we're gonna be able to recoup any of that money that we've been putting forth, this last quarter or not. Just have to wait and see.
After that,
Changes
you won't
every
care,
day.
will you?
Yeah. We did go back and look at the absences that, we had quite a few teacher absences there, and that's why we needed to take a break and let people get well, and that has been much better. It's been much better. And the average leave, was about 5 days. So, I think this gives plenty of time for, any other additional opportunities, but, for testing and those kinds of things that might be involved. So, because I thought about, modifying this number of days, but that's 10 days is kind of the standard, and that would cover everybody except for a few that had some adverse conditions already. Then I think it would be very much appreciated by our staff. Do you all have any thoughts of changing any of the wording or?
Anything other thoughts on that?
Okay, well, then let's, if it's okay with the board, we'll just put that on the October 7th board agenda.
Next, discussion to adopt the following policies: 4.213 family life education and 6.202 homeschool.
Yes, these are a couple of board policies that TSBA given us some direction on based on new laws. The first one's the family life education, and Miss Wendy Stutesbury is here. She is our coordinator, school health coordinator, and she and Mary Harding and I worked on this policy. We want to make sure that we are following the law, and so this board policy does that and gives our families the opportunity to review any of the curriculum. It gives our families the opportunity to opt out of any of the curriculum. Everything we do is age appropriate, medically accurate, and abstinence based. That's who we are. That's what we share in some of the health classes. So we are working to, the law changed this year to require that we have this policy, and so this is a new policy that you may see that we have taken the TSBA draft and made it appropriate for our community and for our students. This will go into effect once we have a curriculum. We're right now reviewing some different ones, and we'll have our principals review that with Ms. Stutesbury. So we're not quite ready there to have to put this in place, but we will before the year's out.
Okay.
So that is there. Is there any discussion on it? Okay, the next one is a new policy, homeschools. In order to conduct a homeschool, parents have to meet certain minimum requirements, and previously having a high school diploma or a GED was included in this, and now there's a wording change. And the wording change is that instead of a GED, the new wording for that process is called a high school equivalency test. It's called the HiSET. So the policy, we needed the policy, but it updates it to include the wording HiSET instead of GED, because technically a GED is no longer, even though we all understand that term. So it changes the wording there. Any questions on that one? I will say this, right down the road at Rome State on the end of their building is where the services are for anyone seeking a high school diploma, high school equivalency opportunity. And anytime I have an opportunity to talk to some students who are thinking of dropping out, that is the conversation. And most often when I have that conversation, I have the same conversation with their parents, because often they need to get their high school equivalency as well. And so we have the conversation that, you know, if you're wanting this for your child, you need to go and get it as well. And so those are often very interesting conversations. It's an important step. Then the next policy there is attendance, and the only thing we've done here is to move. We've updated the tiers for what has to happen when a student has been deemed an attendance issue, truancy, and it lists the kinds of things that we do to try to encourage students to get to school, to try to help parents understand the importance of getting students to school, and some of the processes that are taken there. So we updated this to align with the new law that was just passed this past session, so that Tier 1 applies to all students, and there's a lot of services in here that go to families whose children have missed too much school. Miss Susan Fox is here. She's our attendance supervisor, and she does a wonderful job of staying on top of all of this. Let me say thank you to Susan in front of everyone. She, through the COVID pieces, oh my goodness, she has just been a rock. She's helped us tremendously find out information on students who have been quarantined, not quarantined, and trying to keep all of that straight. It is our desire never to put undue stress on families when they think that their child's been truant. However, during this time of attendance and the intricacies of keeping up with that, it's a challenge, but Susan does a beautiful job of working with our administrators to make sure that happens. So thank you, Susan. So this attendance law is just updated to align again with the latest law that was passed. Any questions on that? Okay, then we'll put that on the board agenda for October the 7th as well.
Got anything else?
Entertain a motion, we adjourn.
Yes.
Motion and a second. Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
I do.
And as Bobby Johnson used to say, Jeannie, you kept us out of jail again another year.
Yeah, you got plenty of money.
Those are the two phrases, that's for sure.
Hey.
You need a good comment for him, Tolbert boss.